Today in my presentation I'm going to present the GDP as indicator to explain why it is one of the most important indicators of macroeconomics, to analyze Lithuania's GDP and to compare it with Latvia's so that we can know why there is significant differences among very close countries. The gross domestic product, also known as GDP, according to Investopedia, is one of the primary indicators used to gauge the health of a country's economy. The GDP is the total value of everything produced by all the people and companies in the country over a specific time period. It doesn't matter if they are citizens or foreign-owned companies. If they are located within the country boundaries, the government counts their production as GDP. Usually, GDP is expressed as comparison to the previous quarter or year. The GDP as indicator is important because of several reasons. First of all, GDP shows total income and total expenditures of everyone in the country. Secondly, according to Gregor Mankiv, GDP adds together many different kinds of products into a single measure of the value of economic activity. Lastly, and most importantly, the GDP shows the health of a country's economy, economic growth, and helps to compare different economies. I chose to talk about two countries' GDP, and I will start from my home country Lithuania from 1995 till 2017. And I will end by comparing Latvia's GDP for the same time period. According to the analysis on a webpage called heritage.org, Lithuania, which is the largest of the three Baltic states, regained its independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. This allowed the GDP to grow because before there was no free market in Lithuania during the Soviet regime. From 2002 till 2008, as shown in the graph, Lithuania has a steep increase in GDP. However, in 2008, all countries suffered from the world crisis, and this resulted in an outcome of approximately $12 billion decrease in GDP. Moving forward, under President Dalia Grybauskaitė, who was re-elected in May 2014, from 2009, the country has worked to improve transparency in parliamentary elections, pass judicial reforms, and increase energy and financial security. This led to an overall growth until 2014. Moreover, it is important to mention that trade is extremely important to Lithuania's economy, and according to heritage.org, the value of exports and imports taken together equals 155% of GDP. According to the information from Central Lithuanian Bank, visible decrease in GDP for 2015 in Lithuania was caused by Russia's embargo on our dairy products, and it was second significant decrease in Lithuania history from 1995. Until recently, Lithuania depended heavily on Russia for natural gas. However, in 2016, Norway overtook Russia as Lithuania's top gas supplier thanks to the recent completion of the largest offshore liquid natural gas terminal in the region. It might give independence from Russia, what might cause the significant increase in GDP for the future. Latvia is one of the Lithuania's neighbors and also shares similar population as well as size. Therefore, the story of GDP growth is very similar. However, there are some differences. Heritage.org states that in Latvia, poor governance and inefficiency in state-owned enterprises remain problems within the country. Corruption increases the overall cost of doing businesses and undermines government integrity and judicial effectiveness. Foreign investment in some sectors is restricted, and state-owned enterprises distort the economy. Also, the financial sector is dominated by banks and has undertaken significant regulatory adjustments since early 2009. As you can see, these two countries are relatively similar due to their demographics. We can assume that this pattern for the GDP growth will continue. Stay tuned to the news in case of any drastic changes. That is it for today.